Hello, friends. Part two of your podcast. When we left off, we were looking at a two-way table that we had just converted counts into percents so we could compare the different amounts, percentages of wine sold at a store when there was different types of music playing. So the first thing we're going to do is establish how many different counts there are. So this is a 3 by 3 table. So we're going to have 3 times 3 or 9 counts. And this 9 is our n. And what we need to do is generate a set of expected values. So the null hypothesis we're going to make is that the wine selected should be the same for all 3 populations of types of music. The alternative hypothesis is that the music makes a difference. So we need to come up with a table of expected counts, which they illustrate here. We're basically going to take the row total times the column total and divide that by the grand total and get a percent for each cell. So just to see it in context, the row total right here times the column total, which is right here, divided by the grand total. Now don't do this. The calculator is going to do the whole thing for you. So don't do this. I just need you to see where it comes from. And that means the number that goes here is going to be 99 times 84 divided by 243. It showed you right here that it's going to be 34.2 repeating. And when you look at it in the completed table, if I did it for every single one, this is what they come out to. And your calculator is going to do all this. You do not have to do it at all. I just need you to understand that these are expected values, and that's where they come from. Row total times column total divided by grand total. And note this, that although you can't have 0.222 bottles of wine, for an expected value, they don't need to be whole numbers. So I now have the set of observed counts, which is in this case the bottles of wine sold when each type of music is playing, and a corresponding table of expected values, which is how many of each type of wine I would have expected to sell for each type of music if it made no difference what music was playing. With these numbers, I am going to generate a chi-squared statistic and corresponding p-value. Again, calculators doing all this. I need you really just to understand that this is all done in two-way tables. This is the long version of the math that the calculator will do for you. Here is the chi-squared statistic that we are going to get. We still have to talk about degrees of freedom, but when we do that, we will get a p-value based on this chi-squared distribution. So let's hit the calculator and just have you see where this all comes from. Okay, so I'm not sure we've done anything with matrices this year, so let's show the way. I hit second and the x to the negative 1, which is the matrix button. In here, I can identify the matrix, I can edit one, and I can do math. What I'm going to do is make a new one, so I'm just going to go to edit and hit enter on number 1. Now, I already have one in here, but if I didn't, I would just put in that I want this to be a 3 by 3 matrix, and then I plug in the data just the way it appears here, just for the actual count. So this is 30, this one is 39, etc. Let me fill these out. So now I have all these values, all the counts in a 3 by 3 matrix in the calculator. From here, that's all I have to do. Now I'm going to go stat, I'm going to go left arrow to tests, and if I hit alpha and the C button, I will come to the chi-squared test. 83 calculators and 84s both have this. Notice the observed goes in A, and it says expected in B, but you don't have to put them in. The calculator will automatically throw your expected values into B. So if I go down to calculate and hit enter, there is the chi-squared statistic and p-value I want. And if I go back to matrix, to edit, and go to B, I notice there are all the counts that I would need to copy down. And I can interpret the p-value the same way if I draw. There's the picture. Notice you can't even see the shaded region in this graph. And I interpret the p-value the same way. So this is what we're going to do tomorrow in class. Be ready.